Gents, has this ever happened to you? You buy a new pair of jeans and within weeks, the heel starts to fray and wear out. Guys, the truth here is that your jeans are too long. Now you can get a tailor to hem them for you, but this can get expensive if you need multiple pairs that need to be hemmed, and I think men should be self-sufficient. So in today's video, I'm gonna make it simple for you. I'm gonna show you how to easily hem your own jeans at home. Now for this DIY project, you're gonna need a sewing machine, sewing pins, a fabric pencil, a ruler, scissors, and an iron. The first step is to figure out the right length for your jeans. Put on your jeans and a pair of shoes, then fold the hem until they're the perfect length for you. Now be careful doing this without shoes on, otherwise you can get the wrong length. Seriously, you're gonna end up with a hem that's too short, which is pretty much impossible to fix, or too long, and then you'll have to go through this process again. Remember, gents, the old rule: measure twice, cut once. Now, how long should your jeans be? Now, this is my personal preference, but I think jeans look best with at least a quarter break, and me personally, I prefer a full break. Now, to ensure the fold stays where you want it, make sure to pin the fold and then take the jeans off. Now, at this point, you've got a decision to make. Do you want to go with the classic hem or do you want to go with the easy hem? Both have their advantages and disadvantages, and in today's video, I'm going to show you both. Now, this first method preserves the original hem. A lot of people really like this look, but note, it can look sloppy if not sewn perfectly. So what you want to do is measure your original hem. Let's say it's a 1/2 inch hem. Take your fabric pencil and draw a horizontal line on the outside of the jeans a 1/2 inch above your pin. Now you want to go through and fold your jeans so the edge of the original hem sits perfectly on top of the line you just drew. Next, pin the fabric in place, starting at the side seams first, as you need them to line up perfectly. No! Now make sure the pins will be pointed away from you while sewing so you can easily remove them. Now it's time to start sewing. So find a thread color that closely matches the fabric of your jeans. We want this stitch to be as invisible as possible. You'll use a straight stitch for this hem. Your sewing machine default stitch length will work out fine. Now, I do advise switching out your universal sewing needle for one specifically designed for denim. Now, the universal needle is great. It can work in a pinch, but understand it's more likely to break when sewing tough fabrics. Now, depending on how your sewing machine is configured, you may need to remove the side piece so your jeans can be positioned properly. Set the jeans so the needle will be as close as possible to the edge of the hem. After the first couple of stitches, make a back stitch, and this will lock the thread and prevent your stitch from coming undone. Stitch around the length of the jeans, removing the pins as you go. Make sure to sew in an even, straight line. Don't zigzag back and forth. And note, most sewing machines include guide markers on the right side to help keep a straight line. Now, you may run into an issue when you reach the side hem, as your machine may have trouble sewing over the multiple layers of fabric. Now, if your machine gets stuck, a great workaround is to release the presser foot and use the manual knob on the side of the sewing machine to slowly feed it through. Once you reach the end, do a couple more back stitches and you are set. Now, you'll probably have a little bit of excess fabric left over, which you can fold back up inside the jeans. Another option is to just simply cut it off. Make sure though to use a zigzag stitch to prevent that end from fraying. Now at this point, go ahead and iron the new seam edge until it's flat and tidy. If done properly, the final result looks great and it preserves the original look of the jeans. Now the second hemming method is easier and more forgiving, especially for beginners, but you will lose the original hem. To start with, turn the jeans inside out and use the fabric pencil and ruler to draw a straight line where you placed your initial pin. Then draw a second line an inch below the first one, then cut the fabric along this new line. Take the bottom edge and fold it twice. This will prevent the fabric from fraying. Use your iron to flatten this folded edge and then pin it in place. Now, since you're going to be creating a new hem that will be visible, try to find thread that closely matches the color of the original hem thread. Now it's time to start sewing. Now select a 3.5mm stitch length on your sewing machine to match the look of the original hem. Start sewing, keeping your needle 1/8 of an inch from the folded edge. Now notice we're following similar steps as to the last method where we're doing a couple back stitches after we start sewing. Keep sewing in a straight line, removing the pins as you go. And remember to be careful about the side hems. Once at the end, sew a couple back stitches and you are done. Now the end result is going to look a little bit different than the original hem, but it gets the job done. And to be honest, after a few wears and washes, it'll develop a character of its own. Now, if this is way too much work, what are your other options? Well, gentlemen, how about discover the 5 ways to roll your cuffs and look amazing? I've got you covered with this video right here.